Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Report. Man, it's playoff wild card weekend, and it looks like it's already shaping up to be exactly as should be scripted. So far, my picks are 3-0. I've been correct on each and every one of them, unless Miami has some tricks up their sleeves and can somehow pull this one out, but I just don't see it happening. So I am waiting for the New York Giants and the Green Bay Packers to kick off. I'm picking the Packers on this one. I just think the Packers playing at home, the weather conditions, the lack of focus with hey, Robert, how you doing tonight, man? Dwayne, how's it going? Sergio, thanks for joining in. I just think that the Packers offense is going to be better than what the Giants are going to be able to put up, because basically over the last 4 or 5 games, the Giants haven't put up over 20 points. And in fact, they've turned over the ball like crazy. Eli Manning is back to being the turnover machine that he's always been. And I don't think that the Giants are going to be able to do it. I've kind of gone after Eli Manning quite a bit, talking about him being a turnover machine. But I think Odell Beckham, and maybe it's just me and I have a personal vendetta against him, but there's something that bothers me about a player that is so me in a team sport. And with this being his very first playoff game, are you telling me that you couldn't wait a couple of weeks before going out and having a ball? Because he is literally like a moth to a flame right now, because between the trip to Miami, the spoof that they were doing, the mask in the locker room, I mean, he's literally all over the place. And literally, it's like, when are you thinking about football, dude? You played on Sunday night, so you're already on a short week. You're doing all these extracurricular activities, and it is, hey, Alex, shout out to you, man. Dak Attack, how you doing tonight, man? He is literally just out having fun as opposed to concentrating on football. But that's what I personally think. When you see all those extracurricular activities off the field of getting beat up by the kicking net and then basically making out with the kicking net and then proposing to him, I just don't have time for a player like that. And I have to agree with you, Donnie Price. He's a clown. You know, he's got nothing as far as helping the team out. He's got great talent. Don't get me wrong. He's fantastic. He is literally a freak of nature. But you negate a lot of that talent with stupid penalties and being the distraction. When it's playoff week and your quarterback basically has to make a joke about what you're doing, that's not what you want to be going into the playoffs. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that. It'll be interesting to see how that goes. I want to thank you guys for watching and joining in and being part of the show. If anybody wants to call in, let me go ahead and type in the number. It's 903-345 5628. So if you guys want to call in and we'll get you on air with us with your questions and stuff, talking about the game, I'd like to know, who do you guys want us to face? Personally, I think the Cowboys can beat anybody if they play their game. Thanks a lot, AJ. It's always great to see and hear from you guys as well. Yeah, your Samuels, Manuel Samuels, your Salinas. I'm sorry. Don't have my glasses on here. They're around here someplace. So forgive me if I mispronounce the people's names, because the type on here is a little small. With Odell Beckham, I think you can get into his head. Josh Norman last year, when he was with Carolina, ended up basically trashing Odell. I don't know if he said you're gay or whatever, but he did something to get up underneath the skin. And when you get up underneath your skin, Dread Out 5, give us a call. When you can get up underneath his skin, he is so revengeful, and I almost think that he's got some mental issues, that he's taking it personal. He is literally ready to fight, and do whatever to get even with you. And that's what I think you need to do, is you got to get up underneath that guy's skin, throw him off his game, because without Odell Beckham, the Giants don't really have an offense. Their running game is terrible. And what you've noticed through all of these games thus far is how important the running game has been, because every one of the teams that have won, the running game has been key. And I'm looking at the Cowboys running roughshod with Zeke. I think he's a little miffed that he didn't get to play in the last game. I think he's ready to rock and roll. I think that these guys are looking for the limelight. And I want to thank all of you guys out there that are hating on the Dallas Cowboys. All of the talking heads, all of the homosexuals, all you people in there who keep doubting this team, I think are actually making this team even bigger and even better, because they are out to prove everybody wrong. How you doing tonight, Gray? Where are you calling from?
80 miles away from the Super Bowl site where Dallas Cowboys don't play well out of AFC.
Oh, man, that sounds fantastic, man. Are you going to head on down over for the Super Bowl?
We already got a reservation.
All right. But, hey, man, I'm going to be there, too. We're actually going to probably be there Tuesday or Wednesday, Super Bowl week. I'll probably have some meetups or something or other, and definitely be looking for you, man. One thing I'll tell you, you want to get there as early as possible if you're trying to go downtown. To see some of the NFL experience and stuff, because by Friday and Saturday, it's a zoo and you can't get through. So if you want to go ahead and see the attractions and stuff, make sure you hit it as early as possible during the week. So what's your question for us tonight?
What are we going to do with Doug Freeman gives us two precious opportunities for the team defense.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly. We have La'el Collins, who's back. We also signed the other tackle. It's possible that they could end up setting him. It's possible that they end up trying to keep Zeke Elliott to help out on that side, or even keep a tight end to help, because that truly is the weakest link on the offensive line. But I think the biggest cure for that is the running game, because if we're able to run and force them to put 8 men in the box, we'll be able to play action teams to death, where you're not going to have that much pressure. You're not going to be able to sell out on that offensive line. All right? All right, man. I will see you in Houston, man.
I'll be down there, trust me.
All right. We'll be looking for you. Yeah, I'm about as excited as I can be, because getting down to Houston for the Super Bowl, how crazy would it be? Now, this is really crazy, but stranger things have happened. If the Houston Texans and the Dallas Cowboys both made it to the Super Bowl, and all Texas Super Bowl, can you imagine how crowded and packed that place would be? That would be unreal. I guarantee you there'd be more fights at that Super Bowl than any Super Bowl in history. But that's just a thought. I don't think the Texans are still have enough offense to get past New England or anybody else, but we'll see. What's the keys for victory? Giants and Packers? For one team to score more points than the other. But no, I think – oh, here we got another call coming in. I think
John.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello, Don. Welcome to the Joe Blue Sports Report. Where are you calling from?
From Alabama.
Well, how you doing, man? What can we do for you tonight?
Good. Pretty good.
What's your question for tonight?
So, question is, how do you feel about Ezekiel Elliott showing attendance cost on every defense in the NFL?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
How do you feel about number 21 Ezekiel Elliott showing attendance cost on every defense?
Okay, all right. You know, there's always a few of those guys out here, and I'd appreciate it if you keep those calls to someplace else. I mean, if that's what you guys really want to do, go grab ass someplace else. I mean, geez. Yeah. So, buddy, get a life, okay? All right. So much for that idiot. Mr. Chips, I believe that Doug Free is probably his last season with us. At least we won't have a cap hit because of him being cut. He's a free agent. What did he say? Basically, he's just a clown. Just talking about Zeke Elliott sticking something somewhere else. But I'm not even going to give that dude any credit or any mind. I think we can beat either team, honestly. When you look at position by position or group by group, we match up pretty well with everybody that we'd have to face. You're on the Joe Booth Report. What can we do for you? Where are you calling from?
Compton.
Compton. And what's your name?
Don.
How you doing, Don?
How you doing, sir? I'm a new member of your show today. I enjoy your work and keep up the good work.
Well, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. For me, this is a lot of fun because reaching out to people like you across the country and talking about the Dallas Cowboys and football in general, to me, it's a lot of fun. And if there's any knowledge that I can share with somebody else, I'm happy to do it. So what question do you have for us tonight?
Well, not much of a question. I just want you to keep up the good work. I enjoy the show.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. And I'll do the best. We're hoping to do some different things as the season goes on, or what's left of the season, and 2017 take this to a whole nother level. And I appreciate your support.
Well, I'll be watching every day for you.
All right. Thank you, man. See, that's the main reason that I do this, because this is just fun, and it's great that people appreciate what you're doing and stuff. And I think it's great to be able to have other people to talk sports and stuff with. So, like I said, I'm excited as can be that everybody enjoys this and that we're having a good time with it. Well, I'm going to have to use my microphone. I'm sorry about that. You can't hear the caller call in. I'll try and repeat what the caller says. Well, the Packers secondary is beat up, but I still think that the Packers defense will be enough to stop Eli Manning without the Giants really having a running game. I don't see the Giants putting up a whole lot of points. On the other hand, I see Aaron Rodgers is kind of on a roll. I think they'll be able to put up enough points to win this game. But we'll see. We'll find out here in the next 3.5 hours who's going to be the winner for the game. Do I think Alfred Morris will be active for the next game? That is a good question, but I think he probably won't be active for the game. Yeah, OG Banks, you got it right. That's exactly what he said. Boo to the Packers. Okay. How you doing, Alonzo? Yeah, there's always a few idiots that are out there. Only Texas fans will be disappointed again. That's funny. There was a question here I was looking for. Would we rather have Giants so that we don't have to hear from Steelers fans? Okay, and then trying for rings. Well, I'd like to personally beat the Giants because I am sick and tired of hearing about them that they beat us twice. And hats off to them. Give them a slow clap because they did win the games. But the way the talking heads out there talk, the way the Giants fans out there talk, you would think that they just literally just blew us away. And to be honest with you, they were fortunate to come away with victories. Those games, both of them, could have gone either way, as most divisional games happen to be in the NFC East. I mean, think about the Redskin game week 2. We could have easily lost that game. Had the defense not gotten that interception in the end zone from Kirk Cousins and Dak took us down the field to win that game, we would have lost that game. But it's like that every week in the NFL. Unfortunately, you don't remember back to some of those games that were close or that could have changed. You just look at the bottom number. And that's where the Giants are right now. They don't remember that Eli Manning had 3 turnovers and should have had 6. They just keep saying, oh, well, we kicked your ass. Well, had we kept one or more of those other interceptions, I think it would have been a different game. Had we not had that one play of Odell Beckham, I dare say we would have won that game. So I wouldn't pound your chest too hard on that game. We still won the division. We are sitting at home where it's nice and warm inside while you guys are going to Green Bay and facing the Packers on an icy field. So, don't be too proud of yourselves just yet. Do I think the Packers will be more fired up knowing they turned the ball? Well, you know what? It's the playoffs. I don't think anybody needs any extra incentives because it is the playoffs and you're playing for something. And the storyline between either of these teams is going to be fantastic because we've got the catch, no catch with the Packers. And, of course, we have the 2 losses to the Giants. So, either way, I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to be motivated for either of these teams. And I dare say that I believe that the team is focused in on having a big game and proving everybody wrong. Because you've seen some of the videos that I've posted from the talking heads out there that have basically said that the Cowboys have no chance at winning the Super Bowl. And I find that kind of amazing that people are picking the Giants just because of what they've done in the past.
Press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello, thanks for calling Joe B Report. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Mark, my name's Matt. I'm calling from Dallas, Texas.
Hey, Matt, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I am doing fantastic. If the Cowboys make it to the Super Bowl, are you going to make that drive down to Houston?
And you better believe, man. I think I'm actually going to get tickets to either this upcoming game or the NFC Championship game.
That would be fantastic. So what's your question tonight?
You better. Well, I want to ask you about specifically Dez and Dak. Recently, throughout the season, I know that they haven't really been on the same page because Dak likes distributing the ball more. But recently, especially in the Lions game, you see how he threw a couple back shoulder passes. Do you think he should do that more often, or not distributing the ball, not worrying about having targets Dez yet? Well,
that's actually a really good point. And actually, I think that the relationship between Dak and Dez is going to be key, because if they can continue to do like those back shoulder fades and get Dez really involved with it, that is going to end up forcing teams to keep that safety out of the box, which is going to open up the running game. But the biggest thing with Dak Prescott, one, not turning over the ball has been key for the success of the season for the team. And the second thing is because he's able to distribute the ball so far around, there's not one person you can say, let's play cover 2 on Dez and we're going to shut him down. Because this offense goes all over the place, you have to basically pick your poison, and the Cowboys can go in another direction. But I do agree that Dez Bryant is going to be the key for the Super Bowl, for us to make it to the Super Bowl.
I agree, man.
All right, man. I hope I see you at the Super Bowl, man.
Oh yeah, man. Sounds good. We'll see you there.
All right, bye. Yeah, I think truly, I don't know if you guys could hear that a little bit better or not, but I think truly the relationship between Dak and Dez is going to be key, because if they can hook up consistently, if Dez can hold on to the ball and they get him involved early, it's going to force teams to go to cover 2 or double cover Dez Bryant. And if that happens, then the running game will run roughshod over everybody. And so that's one of those keys that we have to look for in one of those great matchups. Phoenix, thank you. Glad you guys that you love the show. And I agree with Joe. Dak has definitely the ability to throw all the receivers. You guys, I've been a little upset because I've had some people who basically still won't let the whole Romo and Dak thing go. When you look at what Dak has done this season, it hasn't been that we have just, let's say a Baltimore Ravens team that defenses have just mauled to death, and it's just the quarterback just don't lose it for us. We've had a bunch of games where the quarterback had to win it for us. We got down 14-0 against San Francisco. Like I was talking about the Redskin game, where we got an interception with a little bit of time left on the clock and had to go down the field and take the lead. You look at Pittsburgh, playing in Pittsburgh, Heinz Field against Big Ben. You'll remember that Pittsburgh scored with the Dan Marino fake, no fake. And here it is. We got to march down the field to at least kick a field goal. It ended up being that Zeke Elliott did a 30-yard or 25-yard run to the end zone to seal the game. But Dak had to make key throws under pressure. And one of the things that's great about Dak is he's fearless in the pocket, and he can take a hit. And I dare say some of the hits that he's taken this season, I'm not sure that Tony Romo would have gotten up from. But he can definitely get into the face of a blitz, throw over it, hit Cole Beasley in stride. And you look at the placement of a lot of these passes that he's throwing. He's literally throwing down the chimney, so to speak. Nick Patrick, why did I start doing the show? Well, I've got a bunch of trolls out there that are saying that I'm just a bandwagon fan and where was I last year? Well, truth be told, I've had this channel since 2012. And I would post some videos on there, but I didn't have much of a following. I have always been doing Joe Boo Report on Facebook, and I just started doing a little bit more on YouTube, and for whatever reason, it just started to grow a lot more this year, and so I've been focusing on doing it. Hello, Charles.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Where are you calling from?
Man, I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Oh, well, how you doing, man? What can we do for you tonight?
Man, I'm great. I just got your question for you to Joe Boo, man.
What's the question?
I'm with you on that. I am not afraid of the Giants whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
In both of those games, you should have won.
Yeah.
It was a drop pass and penalty. And they never scored until maybe the fourth quarter on one play by Odell Beckham.
Yeah, amen. They sure did.
Exactly. So my question is, I know when you want to play next round, I really want to be the Giants, but who is most afraid of playing it to be in Atlanta a little bit, only because they have a very high-powered defense, not a great defense, maybe good, but not overwhelming, but their offense. So,
Yeah, they have a great offense. Their defense, I tell you what, their defense is suspect, if you ask me. And they also played in a very weak conference. Division stinks. I mean, when you look at how Carolina played, when you look at, well, Tampa Bay played pretty good. New Orleans wasn't that great. They did not exactly have a tough schedule this year. And their defense, I believe they're giving up like, I think they're 26 on defense. So I think you can shut them down if you can, take care of them. But I'd like to see play them in the championship game. Although I'm not sure they're going to get past Seattle.
Well, me either, but one thing I'll say about them is I don't know if you did shoot out so good. They average about 31 to 38 points a game.
Yeah.
For their big game.
Very true. But they also, but they're also giving up 25 points, 26 points a game as well. Yeah. So, I think our defense, personally, I don't think they don't get enough respect, because the last half of the season they have been trending, down a lot better, and they're able to put a lot more pressure on than people thought they were going to be able to. So I think it'd actually be a great matchup. All right.
Yeah, it's always throwing up in the red zone. Hey, when I come to Houston, man, I want a picture with you and Joe Boo.
Well, we're definitely going to do some meetups, because I'm going to try and be all over the place, because I definitely would love to meet some of you guys and get you guys on a couple of videos and stuff for the show, man. Thanks for your call, man.
Yeah, man. I've been a fan for a while. Okay, enjoy your day.
Thank you. You too. Yeah. Somebody had asked it here about Terrence Williams. I think if Tony Romo goes, I think Terrence Williams would probably go wherever Tony Romo goes, because for whatever reason, they've always had a great repertoire between each other, and Terrence Williams has had his best games, of course, underneath Tony Romo on that. But as far as our defense goes, our defense doesn't get any respect, and it's amazing that there's no Pro Bowlers on there. Finally, at least Sean Lee got some credit being All-Pro, but that defense is trending the right way. They're getting lots of pressure, and I'm still in love with David Irving. That shock move where he literally just rocks the offensive lineman on his ass, to me, is still one of the greatest plays I've ever seen. But I think our defense is going to be playing a lot better than they did earlier in the season. We get DeMarcus Lawrence back. We'll have Tyron Crawford back in that rotation. We're going to be able to keep guys in there fresh. Hopefully Morris Claiborne, he's been practicing this week. He's supposedly going to be ready to go. So we've got a lot of fresh bodies that are coming in that we haven't had the last few weeks. And I'm looking for that defense to actually turn it up another notch. They basically have that chip on their shoulder because of lack of respect. Sandman, I agree with you. If anything, the first three games of the playoffs have showed us that a running game is important. And neither of these teams, the Giants or the Packers, have much of a running game. So I'm with you that the fact that they think that either of them can go to the Super Bowl still amazes me. But hey, what do I know? I'm a guy with the voodoo doll and a day job. Boom move. I like that, Henry. Yeah, the boom move. I call it the shock because it basically kind of shocks, but that's another good one. Yeah, if we can get David Irving having a great game, these basically 3 games and out, it's going to be lights out. Yeah, I agree with you. And I, I guess maybe I make too much of it about lack of respect for the Dallas Cowboys, but it's so amazing that the Dallas Cowboys are the only team in the NFL that has problems, according to the talking heads, because even though we don't even have what answer? I missed the question, Dallas Cowboys. Um, even though we don't even have a game this week, the Dallas Cowboys have still been talked about more than some of the teams that have been played. And you would think that the Cowboys are the worst team in the NFL by the way they talk. Dak Prescott is one of the top 4 quarterbacks in the NFL, yet you're steadily talking about him being pulled. To me, it's still just amazing. I'm going to have to look back up Dallas Cowboys. I think our boys, he's won in 2018. I'm not sure I understand the question. You think our rookies can get a Super Bowl? It's too soon? It's never too soon to get a Super Bowl because, the chances of getting a Super Bowl are few and far between. I mean, Dan Marino was there as a rookie and didn't win it, and he never got the opportunity again. So, that's one of those things. If there's a chance to get a Super Bowl, you better take it because you never know when it's going to happen again. However, with this team, much like the Cowboys of the 80s, it's young, it's hungry, and it's in good shape. And I think that the Cowboys are going to be a team to reckon with for years to come. It's not that they just got lucky this season. That offensive line mauled people. The defense is up and coming. We've got cap room. We have young guys that are in there. We don't have a lot of free agents that we're going to lose. So you're going to be able to keep this stuff around. Now, I had a great point that I wanted to bring up, and I can't remember what it was. The UFOs, of course. I still think Black Sheep is better than UFOs. Do I see these playoff teams having problems stopping the run? The Giants have been great stopping the run, and that's been like our worst matchup on there. Green Bay, we ran roughshod over them in Green Bay. So I think actually with Zeke rested and Tyron Smith having some extra time off to heal, I think that the Cowboys offense is ready to roll. And I really think that the Cowboys are going to roll through the playoffs. I'm so sold out, dude. Why am I sold out, Brian? I'm trying to understand, why am I sold out? I've been a Dak Prescott fan all my life. Since last year, not all my life. I've been a Dak Prescott fan. I've been that way from last year at this time at the Senior Bowl. In fact, I was probably one of the first people to actually have a Dak Prescott jersey. I ordered one custom made because you couldn't buy them in the beginning of the season. I've always been a Dallas Cowboy fan. So how am I selling out? I'm trying to understand that. Don't replace Wilcox. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. I deserve more subs. I appreciate that. I was okay. Now, anybody? Okay, I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you the main reason why people started watching the Joe Boo Report. It was because of one video. It was a video I did, I believe, February 27th, right after the Super Bowl, because I started looking at Dak Prescott after the Senior Bowl because everybody was on Carson Wentz's bandwagon. He was fantastic. But here it was, Dak Prescott was the MOP of the game. And I was sitting there looking, and I was like, he played a lot better than Carson Wentz. So I started looking back at some of the Mississippi State film, and I put together a video, and I'm looking at this guy, and I'm not understanding how he was rated so low in the draft. Because the things he's doing now with the Cowboys, he was doing in college. They kept saying he's a running quarterback, but when I looked at the team around him, he didn't just take off and run like, say, Michael Vick did because he just liked to run. He did because everybody's covered, and I've got a pass rush coming at me. But when I do run, I'm very successful with it. So I started putting all these things together. And if you look for this video, Dak Prescott, the perfect quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, it's spot on. And that's the main reason why this kind of grew. So all these people that said that I'm just, a bandwagon fan, I was here last year when we sucked to holy hell. I do the Benet Emery show on Monday nights at 8 Central. You can see the link and stuff on here, and I'll post the show afterwards a lot of times. And I've been there with the Cowboys, talking to the Cowboys on that show for 3 years. So I'm not a Johnny-come-lately or just a bandwagon fan. I am a true diehard Dallas Cowboy fan and have been since I was a little kid sitting on the couch with my dad. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get 1 million subs before the year ends. Yeah, okay. That would be wonderful. I would love that. But I'm not counting on it. I'm happy with all of you guys that I have right now here on the show. So, we're good. Well, Dak got something. He got a little bit of work in last week. He's not really having 3 weeks of time. I mean, what else are you going to do? You're going to have him play wild card weekend. I'm glad that he got in for, those 2 series and things. But, there's not too much else we could do as far as work goes. But I don't think the Cowboys are out hanging out in Miami like other people. I think these guys have done their practice work last week and that they're ready to play football. When you look at Dak didn't do a whole lot of commercials and stuff. He had opportunities to go on late night TV, even on his bye week. He went home, went fishing, spent time with his family. So I think these guys are really focused on football. But that's just me. But, it's football. Anybody can win or lose on any given Sunday. But more times than not, the team that is better focused, the team that has actually got better players, usually will come on the top. And I think that the Dallas Cowboys, over top of both of these teams, have better players and personnel and are better focused and better shape health-wise and everything else. 24-20, that'd be an interesting score for the Giants. Green Bay. I'm kind of hoping that they both bludgeon each other really bad. But hey, that's me. Joe, believe me, I'm ready to get another ring, man. A lot of you guys are a lot younger, so you maybe don't remember the last time the Dallas Cowboys won a Super Bowl. Man, it would be unbelievable now with social media, the hype, to see them in Houston. What's my prediction? I don't think the Giants are going to score 24 points like somebody else did. I think it's going to be, I'm going to say Packers 24, Giants 17. How much do you get paid for YouTube? Not much. YouTube pays you for putting ads on your channels, and it's basically per 1,000. So if you get 1,000 views, you might get $1 to $4 or so. It's not a whole lot of money unless you end up being somebody that's got millions of subscribers, getting millions of hit on their videos. Packers 30-0. Ooh, wow. Does this feel like the 92 team? In a lot of ways, this does feel a lot like the 92 team because you're looking at a young team. You looked at the defense, which became one of the best defenses in the NFL in the mid-90s. They didn't get any respect either. As a lot of these talking heads will say, oh, there's no name guys and stuff on there. But I dare say the way David Irvin's played the last 5 games, he's playing like, one of the best defensive linemen out there. And the same thing can be said about Dak Prescott and the offense. These guys are young, no names that people just don't want to give any credit because they're not the names that you know. So, yeah, it does have a feel kind of like that. My thoughts on Jimmy the Greek. Believe it or not, did something happen to him recently or anything in particular? But believe it or not, he actually spoke at our high school's football end of the season party. I went to high school with Joe Gibbs's kids and Richie Pettibones, and they were friends with Jimmy the Greek, so he came and spoke with us. But I'm not sure what aspect of Jimmy the Greek you were asking about, so clarify if you could. I'd love to see a pick six with Anthony Brown next week. Mark, you need to start listening first. Take the other videos from the sports talk shows to your channel. Start listening to them in your videos and produce YouTube so you can shut down. Okay. Start listening to them in your videos you produce, or YouTube can shut your channel. Okay. All right. Thanks for the shout out. Yo, man, I remember, you know what Don Meredith saying, singing. I remember seeing that live. That's how old I am, because I'm the same age as the Super Bowl, 51. So yeah, I remember that. I almost remember Don Meredith playing, believe it or not. 5 rings. I'm not sleeping on anybody. Everybody asks me, who am I scared of? I'm scared of the team we're playing next, because anybody can beat you. You can have the ball bounce the wrong way and change the momentum of a game. So I'm not sleeping on them. I still just will tell you that I'm not thinking that they're as great as everybody makes them out to be. Teams end up getting hot and cold. The one thing you got to say about the Dallas Cowboys, even with those 2 losses to the Giants, they have been pretty much consistent throughout, a good team all the way through. And I dare say, I believe that they are the most complete team in the NFL. I remember Dwayne Thomas, yes. I remember Dwayne Thomas not speaking for a whole season because of contract issues. That first year that Roger and them won the Super Bowl. Feed me, definitely. We need to keep feeding Zeke Elliott, without a doubt. Greetings from Switzerland. Wow. Thank you, man. Marcus, thank you, man. Switzerland. Damn, we have football fans for the Joe Boo Report. Thank you so much. All the way in Switzerland. How goes it in Switzerland, man? What's the weather like there? It's cold as shit here in D.C. The best tight end in Cowboys history, in my opinion, I almost have to say Jason Witten. We've had great ones. We've got Hall of Fame ones with, God, I'm having a brain fart here, with former Bears coach, Mike Ditka. Jay Novacek was fantastic. But I still think Jason Witten will go down as the best tight end that the Dallas Cowboys ever had. It's cold as shit in Canada. I think it's cold everywhere, because, man, I got up this morning and it was like 6 degrees outside with the wind chill temperature, I think, of 3 below. And that's cold for here. Now, it's supposed to be 60 by the middle of the week. So I don't know what it's going to be like in Canada for you, Gamma Ray, but it's going to warm up for us at least. Where does this season hold? I can't say where this holds because the season's not over yet, but I dare say that this has been the best season for a long, long time with the Cowboys. To have Dak and Zeke come through and play the way they are, especially when nothing was expected of this team, to have basically shut everybody up as far as the talking heads, this definitely is one of the best ones. If they end up going to the Super Bowl, I might rank this up there with the first Super Bowl that the Cowboys won, Super Bowl against the Dolphins. If it ends up being that the Cowboys win it, because this has just been great. You could see the Cowboys building a team during the 90s. After that first Super Bowl with the Cowboys, they were always good, so you were always expecting the Cowboys to be there. If the Cowboys go to the Super Bowl this year, nobody before the season started thought the Cowboys had that opportunity, especially after Tony Romo went down. So this would definitely be one of the top seasons that I've ever seen. Joe, you're completely right. The Dallas Cowboys have had not just Hall of Famers, but players that were truly the best positions in history. I agree with you on that. A lot of teams can't say they got Hall of Famers. I mean, you look at the Texans. I've been to the Hall of Fame, and the only thing I've seen from the Texans is J.J. Watt's face getting planted into the guy's rear end. But yeah, we as Cowboy fans, and the game is on, thank God. We as Cowboy fans have been spoiled completely because we've had an embarrassment of riches between the Hall of Famers, between the Super Bowls, the playoffs, and everything else. So we have truly, truly been blessed. And there he is, Eli Manning, that turnover machine. I'm going to live stream after the game. so we can talk about who the Dallas Cowboys are going to be playing. And I cannot wait to see who it's going to be. So, guys, thank you for watching, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Report. And I will see you in a couple of hours. And I am signing off.